Hmm. Hmm. I would say a lot of the unknowns are in this direction. Home Chick Slice wants to see my badge, and I don't have a badge. Very annoying.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Not an umbrella, I hope. I don't need one myself, you see.
Neither do I. Pat my similarly wet cloak.
Very rugged. Good choice. Now, I suspect you had questions. Nothing like talking to pass a rainy day. Am I right?
Tell me about Wild Pines. What do you do?
What we do. I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
What do they do?
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo-tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo-tribes remain.
Who are the other Indo-tribes?
Son Baptiste, Elysium, an unknown entity known as Brightest Star.
You're in good company, it seems.
Why, thank you.
He does not register the real meaning of the remark.
She nods.
You're on a boat.
Why, yes I am.
She looks at the deck under her feet. Green and white sails flutter overhead.
Good.
Got my missing badge again.
I'm afraid I can't say any more until we've taken care of formal protocol. Of course. But before we do, officers, let me be perfectly clear. The situation is extremely volatile. The sooner we can speak about this lynching business, the better for all of us.
I guess we'll go with this. You seem smart. I need someone to give me the lowdown on this reality we're in.
This reality.
Pulls her hood closer around her neck.
Yes, reality is your side case. An experimental side case.
It's related to that medical episode. I have trouble remembering even the most basic terms of reality.
Ah, yes. The episode. Sounds like an acute case of encephalopathy, now that I think of it.
Puts down her thermal cup and looks at you.
Don't be phased, madame. He functions perfectly well. He only needs a lowdown on all of reality.
We may be here a while then. Ask away, officer. I'll help however I can.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
Wow. These are... ugh. We could try this. Need a 9, so a 5 and a 4.
It remains a mystery what you mean by this something close. This isn't about you. It's about reality.
I'm going for it. Double 6 is right here.
A strange coldness comes over you as you look at the world. The waves sway the sloop slowly. That's all.
Where are we?
We're in Martinez, baby.
Baby?
A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed.
I'm a disco holdover myself.
Aren't we all?
She refers to your corresponding ages.
And what is Martinez?
Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour, north of the 881 and Jamrock.
I have to admit that, like, all of this is not anything that I want to do. Ask 1.
You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year.
Something else?
I would be happy to. What is a preposterously expensive education for, if not sharing?
That is all for now.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything? More lessons in basic reality?
What is this?
My favorite part of the day. A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
Am I really this awkward?
Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games.
And what is this place here?
Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot. Or 2.
What is that?
A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old.
He looks up at the crumbling facade.
This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course.
Who lived in them?
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off. Splat, splat.
From a dilapidated balcony, Cindy the Skull gives Joyce the evil eye, her red paintbrush held to her throat.
You could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she's running the brush across her throat in a soaring motion.
Wonderful.
What is that?
The girl in the old lady rags.
Yes.
Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
Infraculture?
Yes. You and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
I understand everything. Make it more complicated somehow.
I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat all they want. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into itself. Even those who would critique capital end up reinforcing it instead. All right, what next?
Suddenly, you're not so sure you're part of the supraculture.
We'll let that one go.
Of course, no time for silly infracultures. There are more pressing, reality-centric questions to be asked.
Okay.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
Don't know. Maybe I can press her on that.
That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
Why? How is you looking at the photo tied to the lynching?
Better not tie the forestay to the backstay on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
She wants to answer the question. Protocol keeps her from it.
I'm definitely in a very awkward spot here. I don't know if the game wants me to I guess engage in these favors. I don't want to do the favors. But what do I do?
What happened here?
Can't foreclose on an apartment with a hole in the wall.
It will still be accessible through the apartment next to it. That one didn't have a door. Sadly, nothing of great value remains here.
There's always a little something in the fridge.
Indeed.
Not that fridge, though.
Give me a moment.
We have here. Lots of money.
This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board says, number 11.
Guess I have to read a book. Oh, hold on a second. Over there. Hypnogamma. Good thing we don't need warrants for anything. Otherwise, we'd be in trouble.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
That smell coming from her paint bucket. It's not paint. It's heavy fuel oil.
That heavy fuel oil.
Red-dyed heavy fuel oil, intended for exclusive use in government vehicles, to be precise.
He says, studying the contents of Cindy's bucket.
What did you think I was using? Aquarels? Sucked it out of a cop's fuel tank myself. Back in Jamrock.
She really did it. She's proud of it too.
That's some clever cultural commentary.
You ain't seen nothing yet, Piggy Boo.
That bed in the coal room yours?
Ooh. Not only have you found my address, you've discovered my biggest secret. I'm a coal miner.
She does have eyes that seem to be smeared with coal.
Not the nicest place, but I guess it'll have to do.
It doesn't have to do anything at all. Nothing does. Like me. Right now, I'm doing nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
The inspiration will come to her once hell is set loose on the streets. It's too calm right now.
Shoot, Piggy. It's what you do, isn't it?
Well, you won't talk about the murder, but maybe you can tell us something about the murder victim's missing armor.
What do I care about some fucking tin eggshells?
Is an armor art? Art for the body?
Ugh, alright. Sad Piggy. I'll give you this one. I saw a little girl in the fishing village running around with military-grade handwear. Looked cute as hell. If you haven't been there, the village is a shithole down the coast from the main plaza. Have a good time!
Got it.
Piggy, I have no idea why I just told you that. You look like a shaggy dog left in the rain for too long. I have a weakness for animals.
Where the suckle-foo is my badge? Nothing more to learn here. I don't want to do any favors for nobody. We don't solve the case, we don't solve the case. We'll just progress the time until game over? Question mark. We're not going to capitulate to the evils of the enemy. Because they're the enemy.
This door has been closed with a padlock.
For some reason I thought that was a different door. What did I... Oh. Wonder why that's a tool. I don't know where the fishing village is. Ask the little girl in the fishing village down the coast.
Trying to sneak up on me again? Trying to snuff me out? Get away, pig!
Sucker-foo, sucker-foo.
This coin-operated viewer is facing south. The instruction manual says to insert 25 centimes and pull the handle while looking inside. Then use the focus knob to zoom in if necessary.
25?
Why place a tourist attraction in the middle of such poverty?
25 is insane. and squall of seabirds. Sea turtles. A lot of bullet holes line the wall. I feel like I've seen that one before. Rated chirps. Quick swallow, fill the air. What's on here? You're great. Gateway to the River of Filth. Well, thanks for that. Sit down on this bench.
The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look overly comforting.
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go.
You can revisit the bench if you ever need to pass the time when Lieutenant Kitsuragi is gone.
Now I got this thing stuck. Okay. Believe I have a book.
The front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Friesel. From the sides of his head, a pair of white antlers spread to the corners of the cover.
I Fristle.
Because Friesel was incompetent, foolish, and cruel. In short, the embodiment of everything the communards wished to overthrow. It's satire, you see.
Flip through the pages, see what catches my eye.
To your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. Just column after column of closely set text, interrupted occasionally by little doodles in black and white. After rifling the pages with your thumb several times, you return to the table of contents. The magazine is divided into several sections: international development, Kunst und Kultur, and local concerns. Just inside the cover, there's also an editor's note.
Editor's note?
Comrade, as you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression, Du cristal alla fume. This was his way of describing the way the rigid, crystalline structures of capitalist ideology turned to smoke under communism. But, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going à la fume, unlike many publications which are content to spoon-feed their readers reassuring drivel. La Fume is committed to telling the radical truth, even when that truth may drive away potential subscribers. Only 4 issues in, and it sounds like they've already alienated their readership. So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and international affairs, please consider subscribing today. Yours in struggle, the editors. You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
That was a thing.
A crinkled chewing gum wrapper. The worn label reads, Tutti Frutti. It smells faintly of apricots with a barely noticeable twinge of cinnamon. You feel compelled to point out that there's nothing fruity about cinnamon. It's a spice derived from tree bark. You neatly fold the wrapper into a square before you put it back into your pocket, carefully, lovingly even. The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface. Someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, Suliswaf.
I know about the freezer. I don't, the pry bar that I have is not the correct pry bar. And so, I can't do anything with that.
Wow, a very large red t-shirt with an impressive print stands out from the other garb.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah, the print depicts a muscled man striding toward you, a giant sword in each hand, encircled by burning embers. Behind him is a cluster of cabins engulfed in flames. Beneath him are the words, Hjelmdal burning. The antlers on the hood of the man's cloak and his piercing blue eyes are familiar.
How much are you selling this t-shirt for?
2 real.
That's dirt cheap.
Couldn't you just give it to me for free then?
But why?
Because I'm a broke cop without a cent to my name.
I sympathize, I do. But this is a for-profit enterprise.
Good dog.
The boomboxes on the shelf look well-loved and well-traveled. Chipped, dented, they stare at you with the unblinking eyes of their tape reels. One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on top. A classic boombox that says, Stereo 8 approved. This is you. Golden orange. A sunset suite. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Upkeep the Stereo 8 approved machine here.
Is the Harman Welsh W2. Made in Vespa. Designed in Seoul. Plays all reel-to-reel formats. 2mm, 8mm, 12mm. It's even got a little radio in there. It'll set you back 12 real.
You sure this is all in working order?
Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech, found sounds and music from a variety of genres. Even though I don't really like music.
That's odd. Why doesn't he like music?
Got it.
Here's a good one, that. Weather resistant.
A little pricey.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help. Sure thing. She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just happy to get rid of it, and of her. Truth be told.
Right, so let me get this right.
Miraculously, his face does not reveal what's happening inside.
Yeah, it's not good. I do hope we manage to clean this mess up somehow.
This mess, he means
Sure, man.
Okay. Okay. I do admit I am stuck right now. Because I don't want to go help Everard Clare. I don't want to do a favor for the fixer chick. Some of the things that I need to do require waiting. Can't find my badge. I really want to have my badge. Smoker on the balcony is what I really want to work on. I need to pass the time somehow. Let's see if we can find a cheap book.
a small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages. A lot of shelf space seems to be taken up by Wirral-related merchandise. The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks.
No, I don't want. Give me something science fiction.
These shelves are overburdened with books from the same series. You see the name Dick Mullen over and over. A couple of spook novels hide amidst all the detective books. Thrilling tales of spycraft and daring do.
There might be a little bit of irony in us getting one of these books.
Crime fiction is a disgrace. An asinine misrepresentation of the physical attributes of the arduous everyday work of actual police officers. These books greatly overstate the excitement of police work, glossing over how long it takes to actually follow up on leads and eliminate dead ends. What's more, they completely ignore the psychological hardships of year after year coming into contact with people during the worst days of their lives. Not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officer's family. Detective fiction just doesn't tell the truth at all. Now, would you like a list of all the books found on the shelf? You see Dick Mullen on the job. Get Me Mullen. The Stalwart Adventures of Richard P. Mullen. Dick Mullen and the Murder in the Orchard. The Sordid Affair of Dick Mullen. A killing is declared. Dick Mullen in the Murder House. The Final Case of Dick Mullen. An Obvious Lie. Dick Mullen in the Clock Tower. The Ordeals of Dick Mullen. Dauntless Dick. Dick Mullen's Funeral Pyre. The Murder of Dick Mullen.
Are there any more?
Yes, there's also The Dame Who Did It. Farewell, My Mullen. Faking death seems to be a common trope in the Mullen series. The morbid tales of Dick Mullen. A dark tide turns. Tragedy calls for Dick Mullen. Another one with fake death. And, of course, Dick Mullen, the murderer. In order to catch a murderer, Dick Mullen must become the murderer. After all this, you still haven't found the answer to the one question that matters. Who is Dick Mullen?
Who is he?
Your attempt to grasp at the answer fails. It seems very close by, pulsating just out of reach.
All this crime fiction.
Oh, crime, robberies, murders, even sexual crimes. We're fortunate to have Dick Mullen and his stories to sort all that out. You're a police officer, apparently. You should buy all of these. They really do teach a person how to be a proper detective.
Note, reading about Dick Mullen would not actually make you a better detective.
Yikes.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to crime. Goodness, you were already doing good, browsing the shelves. Why'd you stop? Don't you feel compelled? Go, go, get back there. The books await you.
She smiles and nods, seemingly relieved.
Okay, but, like...
Shelves filled to the brim with crime novels featuring crime fiction. These books, what's more, not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officers. Shelves filled to the brim with
But can I buy a book? My goodness.
Several maps have been attached to a bulletin board hidden inside the alcove. They're held up by small pins. The board has come loose from one corner. The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map of Insulinda, a map of Revachol, and a map of Martinez. It's not really a map. It's a tourist thing. A picture postcard with buildings on it, drawn from an isometric perspective. A date in the upper right corner says 48. Still, it's detailed. Could be pretty useful for scouting ahead. You see the jagged boxes of an industrial harbor, even the whirling in rags there. The plaque on the shelf reads, Biographies of Famous People. You see a large variety of names, none of which ring a bell.
Storekeep, anything of note in this shelf?
I would say... The Greatest Innocence. Yes, most certainly. It's an important educational tool, delving into the depths of history, religion, and their relation to innocentic power.
Who or what is an innocent?
A very influential historical figure. But surely I don't have to tell you that. You're a law officer, and law officers have at least some education. The book is also very daring. The author aims to re-examine the universal understandings of the innocentic system, creating a fresh vantage point and a shift in the tired order of things.
So you recommend it?
Certainly. It's prudent for a person to have at least an elementary understanding of history and society. Imagine the chaos we'd be in otherwise.
You feel like you should get this one. Definitely. It's important somehow. There's something personal inside.
A true cultural touchstone. Enjoy the read.
Came here to buy a book, ended up buying the most boring one that I could possibly buy. Maybe it has a really nice cover, though. Not that I saw a really nice cover on it. You know, when I go to the bookstores, definitely judging the book by its cover.
The Greatest Innocence by João Paulo Salomão Lopes de Fuego. The book is large and heavy. Browsing through the various chapters, you try your best to understand the ceaseless overflow, the sprawl of names, dates, places, events historical. Most of it ends up as a twisted mass of facts inside your brain. Your educational survey is done. Did you catch any of that? No. Oh well, it's pop quiz time. Let's see what you've learned. This might take a few minutes. You ready?
Sure, why not?
That's the spirit. Here we go. Question 1. Who was the first innocence? Oh yeah, This is what I was made for.
If that's so, all right. Go on, give me all the hints you got.
A pop quiz is a short examination designed to test your knowledge without any prior warning or announcement. Such exams allow the teacher to assess how thoroughly the students have retained the material at hand. Voila. Now blast that first innocence.
You suckafoo.
Thanks for nothing.
Yeah.
Dolores Day. Dolores.
Dolores Day.
Incorrect. Dolores Day was the innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. She codified parliamentary democracy and created modern institutions. Among these, the moral intern, she was powerful and beautiful on all her icons. Her colors are silver, white, and apricot. And when you think her name, Dolores, stomach acid rises to the back of your throat, and it hurts. You see a flash silver, a wreath, an airport bag, and blonde hair. You don't know why. Another choice, perhaps? Steer clear of this one. There's something terrible about this one.
What?
A strange sensation of loss. When she left the earth, the dust, and the ice, and the humans. That is unimportant to the quiz. Stop thinking about this. Yes, the quiz is impersonal. No need to rouse sensations in yourself at the mention of Dolores Day. Who was the first innocence? It wasn't Dolores Day.
Perry Carnassian.
Correct. Nothing much is known about him. It's not even clear that he was a he, but Franco Negro presumed as such and called him Pius. He's depicted as a young man with molten gold pouring out of his mouth. All he spoke was gold. It's said he invented God and equality of men before God. He also introduced the gold standard as a way for measuring people's love for Aurum. As the first innocence, he declared that there should be more of those like him. It is presumed his disciples were the beginning of the Holy Party, the founding party. Question 2. Who was the strongest innocence? Easy. Everybody knows the answer to this. You, me, anybody.
Sure, try again. I trust you've got my back.
An innocence is the highest category of historical personage in the world, a literal personification of history. Traditionally, an innocence, when anointed, assumes supreme rule over the Occident or the known world in general, at least the parts that matter.
Yes. Yes, so interesting, but I thought you'd give me the answer to the question.
I can do better. Okay. So commonly, an innocence does not enforce his or her power through military power. This is seen as unnecessary. The innocence wins because an innocence can't help but win, for their deeds are inevitabilities. Did this help?
No.
Damn. Good Dolores.
Vesper.
Incorrect. Vespa Messina is not a person, but a defunct state on the southeastern coast of the Occident. It used to take up most of the peninsula before separating into the republics of Vespa and Messina. Care to try again?
Dolores.
Incorrect again. While she originated many modern institutions, launched several successful expeditions, and was even critical of the Innocentic system itself, and somehow keeps popping up in your mind, she is not often considered the strongest. Even though the words most associated with her rule are l'amour, la compassion, la autodiscipline, love, compassion, self-control, which could be seen as facets of strength. Would you like to try again? Please, relax.
This person was mentioned earlier, but it wasn't I didn't get innocence from this that description.
Correct. Named the innocence of militarism, he codified hereditary rule, but at the same time ended serfdom and established the inter-isolari real as the global reserve currency. He also established the concept of the nation. Franco Negro attempted to solve the rising tensions between the aristocracy and bourgeoisie by building a unified society in which every man has a place and a mission, but at the same time may rise to nobility provided on the strength of his virtue. Question 3. Who was the false innocence? Got it under control. No problem. Solid on this one. It's widespread historical information.
Kedra.
Incorrect. Kedra is a large nation in the mid-northern area of the Mawindi Isola, north of the Occident, between the Ilmarin mountain range and the Pacific Mare Interregnum. Care to try again?
Stepan the Despicable.
Incorrect. Stepan the Despicable, regent of Kedra, was a ruler who conquered the known world during the Kedriatic conquest, instead of the despotic Erno Pasternak. Would you try again?
Erno Pasternak.
Correct. There have been a number of counter or false innocences, some assumed to have innocentic qualities, some who just thought so themselves. Occasionally, they have the support of a faction inside the ecclesiastic organization, and accusations of foul play have arisen. The most famous and important of these was Erno Pasternak. He was into torture, despotism, hymns, cannons, and world conquest, but got defeated and humiliated by Stepan the Despicable of Kedra. Final stretch. You've come so far and learned so much. This is the most important one. Question 4. Who was the greatest innocence? The most important of them all. The most precious to humankind. I've got it, honest.
Dolores Day.
Correct. The Mesk might see Franco Negro as the father of nations, but as of this century, there's been a great shift in attitude. Dolores Day has become widely regarded as the greatest innocence, a most radical change to the whole fabric of the world. Everything from inter-isolary travel to the connected world to 3 consecutive scientific revolutions can be traced back to her. Every decade that passes, she seems less human somehow and more beautiful. Congratulations on finishing the test. The results and your subsequent grade have been calculated. You get a D, not particularly remarkable, but technically a passing grade. Not that anyone really expected better. You would have done better if you just left Dolores Day for the end. Dial the Dolores Day down a bit.
Aren't you, you arrogant book?
What's going on with you?
Thinks it's... Book is unfair.
Okay.
Lieutenant stares at you, his visage unflinching.
You are shouting at an inanimate object, like a real weirdo. No wonder you seem to have trouble with the right answers.
Man, something's weird about this book. You should do something fun instead. Rock out. Forget about it.
Alright, so I tried to pass the time and I feel like an hour has gone by? That's not a long time. Alright. I'm done, I think I've reached the point in the game where I'm at too much of a loss to figure out what to do next. I want to wait and do the stuff that I need to wait for, but just going to take really long time to figure out. So, you know, like, what do I do in the meantime? Confronting Kuno is not going to be great. So my only options here are, I guess, just do the things that I have access to and when we run out of things to do, maybe, just maybe, I won't have to do the things that I don't want to do. First order business. This is something I don't want to do, but will do anyways. We'll send the body back. I don't want to wait anymore.
The bear's eyes are still glowing red. It's guarding over the freezing corpse hidden inside its belly.
Bag him, take him away, Kim.
If you think so, officer, I'm not going to object. I need a little help for carrying him to the holding pen of my kinema. I'll take it from there.
There go those beautiful enamel boots. May they rest in processing.
What should I do in the meanwhile?
Continue working here. The locals, the case, or attend to your own business. I will meet you downstairs in the Whirling in Rags tomorrow morning, 7:30 sharp.
This means Lieutenant Kitsuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You're free to do side tasks and even the main case, though it might be more difficult. If you have nothing to do, read books or sit on the bench on the plaza.
This is actually not good for me.